Hello, and welcome to Claire and Bloom, where I share my love of fragrance, body care, and beauty. In this video, I'll be reviewing new fall body mist from Victoria's Secret Pink. Thank you so much for stopping by, and let's get started. Next up from Victoria's Secret is the Fall Body Mist collection from VS Pink. This collection doesn't usually have a name, and often contains apple and pumpkin scents, but there's surprisingly, and happily for me, no pumpkin scent this year. These are available online now, and have started to show up in stores as well. And besides the main fall collection, I also picked up the new standalone scent from the Pink Hygiene line called Pink Apple. And a reminder that if you want to see mini reviews or what's coming up on my channel, you can join me over on Instagram at Claire and Bloom. There are 3 new scents in the fall body mist collection, and I picked up all of the fragrance mists. The packaging is the same as what we've seen in the last few seasonal collections, and I think it's okay, but still not as cute as their packaging used to be. There are little designs on the bottles as well. And unlike the last Pink collection, Boardwalk, this one does have matching body lotions. Pink Apple has a matching body lotion as well, and I still dislike the shape of these hygiene mist bottles, but I do like the pink color they use this time. The fall body mist collection includes Oh Cherry, described as think of this rich, syrupy take on the candy apple version of a cherry. Apple Rush, described as a perfect Honeycrisp caramel dip spin on the iconic apple. Very Vanilla, described as a cinnamon sugar swirled, freshly baked treat of your wildest dreams. And then I have the new Pink Apple, which is described as a sweet apple scent. And now let's get on to the reviews. The first scent in the collection is Oh Cherry, which comes in the red accented bottle with the cherries on it. And this has notes of dark cherry, red pomegranate, and vanilla amber. And it's described as decadent red fruit, all dressed up in velvety sweetness. A touch of pomegranate tang, a layer of golden vanilla depth. And this opens with sweet, syrupy cherry and a bit of brightness. The cherry feels a bit dark and has a candied feel, like cherries soaked in sugary syrup. I don't get a lot of the pomegranate specifically, but it does feel like there's another fruit mixed in with the cherry, and it has a little sour sharpness as well as an almost floral quality to it. The scent quickly starts to warm as the amber comes in, and it brings additional sweetness that's both vanillic and slightly powdery. The vanilla isn't super thick or sugary, it just adds more of a smooth, syrupy feel to the scent. Cherry and vanilla are my 2 favorite fragrance notes, so I of course love this, but keep in mind it's more amber than vanilla. Is it the most unique cherry scent out there? No, but it's a nice, warm, sweet, ambery cherry, and I think VS hasn't made a real cherry scent in a while, so this is a welcome addition to my collection. Although the opening is predominantly cherry, I like the dry down even more, and this is something that could be an everyday scent for me. It could be sweeter, but as is, it's not cloying at all. And for comparisons, first I have VS Pink Wild Cherry, which has notes of dark cherry and pink honey. And this has been my only real cherry mist from Pink. It smells like dark, juicy Bing cherries with delicious sweet honey. It's sweet and fruity without being cloying, and I like the combination of the cherry and honey. While these are both cherry scents, Wild Cherry is a lot brighter and its cherry feels more fresh, and the scent overall is less sweet. I have to say that I do like Oh Cherry more now. Next is Victoria's Secret Cherry Elixir, with notes of black cherry and liquid amber. And this is one of my favorite cherry fragrance mists, and it smells really delicious with sweet, dark, syrupy cherries. It also has a lot of warm amber, as well as a bit of a nutty, almondy feel. This is pretty strong and has a very perfumey quality. These share the cherry and amber, but Cherry Elixir feels darker and has a nuttier, more sugary, syrupy sweetness, while Oh Cherry is brighter with more of a powdery touch to the amber. I like these both a lot, but I have to say I don't think Oh Cherry can top Cherry Elixir. It's probably more wearable for day-to-day though. Then I have an oldie but a goodie, and that's Victoria's Secret Passionate Kisses. You can see this old bottle that I've been hoarding, and this has notes of cherry and vanilla. And this basically smells like cherry Kool-Aid with a yummy vanilla sweetness. I really love this one, and I do prefer it to Oh Cherry because that's more ambery, while Passionate Kisses is more of a straight vanilla. I really wish VS would bring this back because it's a simple yet perfect cherry vanilla scent. And lastly, we have the Battle of the Oh Cherries with Bath & Body Works Oh Cherry, which has notes of black cherry, sheer magnolia, and tonka bean. And this is more of a fresh cherry with a soft, pretty floral. There's some vanillic sweetness, but it doesn't feel heavy, and it has a bit of woody warmth to it. These share a similar dark cherry, but Bath & Body Works version is more floral, while Pink's has the warmer, powdery amber. I think what you prefer will depend on whether you want something with a light floral touch or a more straightforward fruity scent. I also think VS Pink's Oh Cherry is a bit sweeter. The next scent in the collection is Apple Rush, which comes in the green accented bottle with little apples on it. And this has notes of Honeycrisp apple, pink clouds, and caramel vanilla. And it's described as super sweet and fruity, it's pleasingly decadent, candy coated, and vanilla tinged. And this opens with bright tart apple and a lot of sugary sweetness. It feels sort of like cotton candy at first, but gradually becomes darker and more sticky sweet, like warm caramel flavored with vanilla. The apple retains its tart crispness, and the scent feels more fruity than gourmand to me. It does have a caramel apple-like quality, but the apple keeps the sweetness down a bit. I think it smells nice, but I do wish the apple was a bit less prominent, but I guess that goes along with its name. Also, I get that this has green apple, but I do feel like the packaging doesn't really match the scent. It feels kind of Christmassy to me, and looking at it, I wouldn't think of a sweet candy scent. And for comps, first I have VS Pink Apple Dream from last year's fall collection, with notes of golden delicious apple, gloss candy coating, and autumn amber. And this is a sweet candy apple scent that's more syrupy than sugary, and it has a tartness to it. The sweet candy smells sort of like a Jolly Rancher, and the scent also has a warm, almost spicy quality from the amber. I don't think these are that similar, but I thought people might be wondering how they compare since this is a more recent scent. These both have tart apple and a candy sweetness, but Apple Dream is warmer and feels like it has the hard candy coating of a candy apple, while Apple Rush has sticky caramel coating. Next is VS Pink Sweet Orchard, which has notes of pink sugar, toasted coconut, and apple rose. And this is a sweet scent that is both fruity and floral. It has a soft coconut that does feel toasted, as well as a fresh apple. These are both sweet apple scents, but Sweet Orchard is more fresh and has the soft floral and noticeable coconut, while Apple Rush has the warmer caramel and is overall sweeter. Then I have Victoria's Secret Pure Seduction La Crème, with notes of caramel apple and soft gardenia. This is a soft floral with tart green apple, and despite the caramel note, it's not overly sweet. It does have a sugary quality, but isn't super gourmand. It's more of a fruity floral topped with some sweetness. These share the caramel and apple, but Apple Rush is much stronger and sweeter with a heavier caramel note. Apple Rush also feels more apple-y to me. And lastly, I have Tea Sugar Fleur from the VS perfume line, and this has notes of fresh apple, jasmine buds, and pink caramel. And this has fresh feeling apple and a soft floral, as well as an ambery warmth. It also has a sugary candied sweetness and is warm and woody. I used to not get much of a bubblegummy quality from it, but it's more noticeable to me now, and it also feels like cotton candy melting into caramel. These do have a similar quality with the apple and caramel, but Tea Sugar Fleur has a brighter, fluffier candy sweetness, and the added floral elevates it a bit, while Apple Rush has more tart apple and a darker vanillic caramel. I'd say that VS might be trying to pacify people who missed out on Tea Sugar Fleur with Apple Rush, but great news, I've heard that Tea Sugar Fleur is coming back very, very soon. And the last scent in the collection is Very Vanilla, which comes in the brown accented bottle with what I think are little vanilla flowers on it. And this has notes of crumb cake, cinnamon sugar, and vanilla drizzle. And it's described as topped with fresh cream, drizzled in warm vanilla glaze. Hot and flaky, it smells so good. And this opens very sweet and sugary, and just smells really delicious. I definitely get a cakey feel, along with a lot of fresh cinnamon, like a streusel topping. The vanilla adds a sort of rich, syrupy sweetness, but this is just exactly as the notes describe: cake with vanilla icing and cinnamon sugar. When it dries down, it does feel a bit like graham crackers, but it's still very sweet and gourmand. I think this one is really nice and sure to be a hit, but these types of scents can feel a bit heavy, so it's not one I'd probably wear too often, but I do enjoy it. And for comps, first I have VS Pink Spice Vanilla, with notes of vanilla woods, cardamom, and coconut flakes. And this is a spiced vanilla scent with a touch of fresh coconut. It opens with spicy cardamom, but as it dries, it softens and takes on a more cinnamon-like quality that comes across like gingerbread. I don't get much woodiness from it, just a warmth that mostly feels vanillic. I remember wishing this had more of a sugary icing note, so I think that they've improved on that with Very Vanilla. These both have a lot of cinnamon and vanilla, and that baked goods type of feeling, but Very Vanilla is sweeter, while Spiced Vanilla is, surprise, more spicy. I do prefer Very Vanilla. Next is VS Pink Warm Vanilla from last year's fall collection, which has notes of shaved cinnamon, pumpkin cream, and marshmallow fluff. And this is a creamy pumpkin scent with spicy cinnamon and a bit of vanilla. There's a hint of the marshmallow, but I don't get a lot of it, but it does seem to add additional vanillic sweetness. These share the cinnamon and vanilla, but aren't too similar, as warm vanilla has the added pumpkin and is more spicy, while very vanilla is sweeter and more cake-like. I don't like pumpkin, so I definitely prefer very vanilla. And then I have VS Pink Basic Vanilla, with notes of toasted marshmallow and warm chai. And while this is a vanilla scent, the chai brings in a lot of spice like cloves and cinnamon. It actually smells more like gingerbread to me than it does marshmallow, but it is also sweet. These are both vanilla scents with cinnamon, but basic vanilla is more spicy, while very vanilla is sweeter and more gourmand. Overall, I think this collection is a winner. I like all of the fragrances, and I think the scent profiles are nice for fall. Pink has been doing so well this year, and they've continued giving us the sweet candy scents and gourmands that many of us have been asking for. I'm also personally glad they switched it up and didn't give us another pumpkin scent. I feel like it's hard to rank these because they're just so different and are all nice in their own way, so I'm going to go by what I'd wear the most. For me, that would mean very vanilla is last, but not because I don't like it. I think it smells delicious, and if you want to smell like cinnamon cake with vanilla icing, this is the scent for you. I actually might like very vanilla more than Apple Rush, even though I might not wear it more. Apple Rush is very nice though, and it's a caramel apple scent with vanilla quality, but I wish the apple was less tart and toned down a bit so the sweetness could really shine. And that of course leaves Oh Cherry as my favorite, which was never in doubt for me. It's warm ambery cherry with a touch of vanilla and a powdery quality, and it's definitely just the type of scent I would want to reach for. Then I have Pink Apple from the Pink Hygiene line, and this doesn't have fragrance notes other than mentioning sweet apple. And this opens with tart, fresh apple that has a nice amount of sweetness. Most of the scents in this line are sweetened with honey or coconut, and I do think there's a sweetener in here. And if I had to guess, it's more like honey because there's a bit of earthiness to it, but it's not overly sweet. It has more of a fruity sweetness, not a sugary sweetness, and the scent has kind of a clean quality. The tartness does fade, and then I just describe it as fresh apple topped with some honeyed sweetness. I'm not usually too drawn to apple scents, but I think this one is nice. I also picked up the body lotion for Pink Apple because these pink lotions in the pump bottles are the best that VS offers. It smells similar to the mist with the fresh apple, but has more of a creamy sweetness. Overall, the lotion doesn't feel as sweet as the fragrance mist, which I do prefer, but I think that they'll be fine layered together. And in case anyone is wondering, I thought I'd do a quick comparison with Apple Rush, which again has notes of Honeycrisp apple, pink clouds, and caramel vanilla. And while these both have apple, Apple Rush is more tart and warm, and has a stronger sugary vanilla sweetness. Pink Apple is more fresh and fruity sweet, so they're not too similar. Next for comps, I have another OG and one of my favorite VS scents ever, Enchanted Apple, and this has notes of red apple and watery hyacinth. And this is a sweet, juicy apple scent with a soft floral. The apple is very realistic and has a nice amount of fresh, fruity sweetness. I had high hopes, y'all, but these are not the same. They both have a fresh apple and a clean feel, but Enchanted Apple is more of a fruity floral and has a different feel to it than the slightly sweeter Pink Apple. And lastly, I have Bath & Body Works Crisp Morning Air, with notes of crisp fall breeze, golden amberwood, and juicy apple. And this is a clean, airy scent with fresh apple and a soft, woody quality. I haven't worn it much, but it shares a clean, fresh feeling with Pink Apple, but its apple is softer and it's not nearly as sweet. So that's it for my review of the new fall body mist from Victoria's Secret Pink. Let me know what you think of these scents and if you're going to give any of them a try. Thank you for watching, I hope that you'll subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.